Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. The new kit has dropped and the preseason rolls on. We get all that more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ and this is Michael, and we have a couple of preseason matches to lightly review, but we also have that big thing that dropped this week, and we will talk about it for sure. But before we do, let's get into our lovely Patreon fam and give them some big love. Most notably, Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, Chris, Nick, Jeff, Patrick, and Tom. Thank you guys so much. But let's get into that first one, that first preseason match against the Houston Dynamo. It was a 1-1 draw in the Torneo de Texas, where we are in Texas currently right now, and they are playing this little mini tournament in preseason. But yes, Houston won a penalty shootout to earn that extra point at Shell Energy Stadium. But yeah, who actually started was Lucas Hoyos. We had Hernandez at right back, Enya Mahai, Barakal as the center backs, Dominic Chong-Kui, who we'll talk about shortly, and also Tomas Jacob in the defensive midfielder position. Tristan Muyamba, Will Riley filled out the rest of that midfield. You also did not see Alexei Moranchuk. He unfortunately was kind of still a little bit injured, so he did not take part. But Miguel Almiron, Saba, and Atl Utd were the forwards, where you also saw Gregerson, Matt Edwards, Aiden Torres, Adrian Gill, Santiago Pita, Luke Brennan, and Gaiman Togashi substitute in. But yeah, you know, it's a 1-1 draw, but they lost the shootout. And notably, who missed for Atlanta was Brennan, unfortunately. But Barakal, Pita, Gill, unfortunately, also missed, and Togashi scored his. But yeah, so very, very interesting. Atl Utd was the goal scorer for Atlanta in the in just regular play. But so yeah, you know, it's a game that obviously none of us really got to see, and frankly, I mean, I'm very annoyed. It's you know, it's I want to give you kind of, you know, the kind of floor to be able to give your thoughts on this match, but I'm gonna kind of give my thoughts on this right after that.
Yeah, sure. I'll just, you know, I'll go into the match, and then we can have a meta discussion perhaps about it afterwards. Yeah. So, I mean, it's, you know, we didn't get to see it. Really, what we only got to see is that one highlight that the club posted with Atl Utd getting his goal, and it looked like a stereotypical good Atl Utd goal. Burning, you know, turning on the afterburners and just burning the defender and scoring a goal. That's what you want to see from that kind of guy. He's billed as the speedster, and luckily we're being able to see him torching some defenses, so that's good. He's getting back into that. As for, you know, the implications of this prestigious tournament, we are looking at a tie, so we get a point from it, but we did lose in the kick in the penalty kicks, like you said. Now, I thought it was a little unfortunate that, you know, it's like when we do that subbing out, we took out basically all of our top goal scorers, and you know, like you said, Gil and
Brennan.
The other Brennan, they both missed. Young kids, it's kind of not, you know, it's to be expected, and not to like hold it over them or anything like that. Not upset about it. Now, what I am upset about, and it seems to be always the case against Atlanta United, is that, and you know, Houston subbed out a lot of their guys too later on in the game, in like the 70 or so minute. We started more in the 50, 60, started subbing guys out. They subbed a little bit later, but they still did quite a wholesale change. The guys that they put in went perfect in the shootout. It seems like every team we go against, even when they have their B team on, they're guys who typically don't score, they just go perfect every time against us. It's very annoying. So even though these guys probably don't take penalty kicks a lot, they just went up there and went perfect 5 times. Sucks for us that happened. But I mean, if we had all 5 of our, really good penalty takers on there, we probably would have done better. And if the other guys had tired legs, maybe they miss or something. But it's just unfortunate that we just kind of got bad luck there. But it doesn't really matter because of the next result that we get in that tournament that we'll talk about later.
Right. And, so essentially, well, there was a Houston miss in there, but, I mean, it also is kind of, these are inconsequential. This is just getting practice as well, and to some degree, it's not like they have a ton of information on their penalty takers. It's really just going by instinct at this point in preseason. Like Hoyos and, the kind of goalkeeping kind of crew are not able probably to get a ton of information on these penalty takers. So ultimately, it's just we were not good enough. But I think as far as the preseason as well, I mean, yes, we were able to kind of watch that first match anyway, at least if you took a little bit of time off work or were watching while you were working. But yeah, this is another one that was on a Saturday, but was not, of course, streamed. And the next one, the Red Bulls one, played during a weekday, also not streamed. This is probably the first time in quite some time that, there is not a game that preseason-wise fans can go to. And whether it's Tata, whether it's, trying to be a little bit more secretive, because, back then, he is somewhat of a kind of Bielsa kind of guy in the sense that, yes, you have elements of, people will spy on your, your play, your kind of tendencies, what your guys are trying to do. So that is an aspect that maybe that's what they're thinking of, but either way, and it could be the opposition teams not wanting people to be seen, kind of like how we might talk about another type of thing that's going to be happening in the Red Bulls match. But, I mean, ultimately, this is a game for the fans, and the very fact that no fans can even watch the games, really, especially this tournament, and then no preseason games are able to be attended, and we came from a very, very poor season, diabolically bad season last season. I mean, this is a recipe for essentially, what are we doing? It's a fan base that's incredibly PTSD'd right now, and they very much are not fully just gung-ho on the season. The transfer window was really kind of underwhelming so far, because no big names as far as to catch the casual fan. I mean, ultimately, this is something that is a massive problem for optics, a massive problem to get the casual fans back who already have checked out. And there is no season ticket holder waiting list type of thing. I mean, this is just in a lot of respects, I have to question what's going on. I mean, it's definitely okay, yes, these games don't matter, but ultimately they matter in drumming up momentum. They matter in getting fans excited for that first match. And not only the first match, but beyond that, the rest of the games. And beyond that, games that we play away. Because if we're still going with the, essentially, being kind of just like, we're playing away, and it's a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Like, people are not going to be excited to watch that. It's just there's a lot of elements here that we have to be thinking of, and I'm not so sure there's a ton of thought process going on. So, yep. Either way, that's how I feel about it, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm really pissed about it. It's just, as far as, getting people to care, they're not doing a really good job of it. But any thoughts on that? You don't have to have any, but
I think you said pretty much what I feel about it, and what some fans I think feel about it as well. But I did want to just say one more part of the Houston game that I forgot to mention. I did notice that we allowed Houston to score a goal. It was 5 minutes after the beginning of the second half, which is a pattern we've seen in the past, that the team does not get, settled and ready to go at the start of the second half. We get kind of blindsided, and it seemed to have happened in this game too. So hopefully Tata can identify that early and take care of it.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully so, because yes, that is unfortunately a pattern of play that's on the bad side of it, that continues to happen. But yes, so that Red Bulls match that happened, it was on February 11th. That's today, right? February 11th.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, it ended up being a 3-2 win, but the second match, the second match of of this tournament at Toyota Stadium, New York Red Bulls stormed out to a 2-0 lead. Unfortunately, 17th minute, 36th minute, seemed like they were kind of the protagonists in this match a little bit as well. That's definitely a surprise for Tata Martino, I'm sure, in some senses, because yes, he's definitely used to them very much not wanting the ball. But obviously, Red Bulls have been a little bit more so this past year, and definitely in this preseason match as well. But we were able to get back in it in the second half, equalize with 2 own goals, one from a set piece, and then another one, I think, from the run of play. But basically 63rd and 65th minute. So definitely a little bit of a capitulation by Red Bulls, kind of architects of their own demise. But yes, Atl Utd scored his second goal of the preseason, and Saba got an assist. Alexei Miranchuk also was not available for this as well again. But yes, as well, that 76th minute goal for Atl Utd got the winner. Hibbert was the man between the sticks. Hernandez, Mihai, Gregerson, and Edwards were the defensive line. Tomas Jakob is that defensive midfielder. Seems like we probably are going to have to go with him as that guy going into the, pretty much first months, and unless we can find somebody. There, unfortunately, have not been any rumors, unfortunately, for defensive midfielders lately. So, but Muyamba, Riley were the rest of the midfielders there. There was a trialist that had started for Atl Utd, and Luke Brennan and Keiman Togashi were the other 2 forwards. But Megi, Saba, and Atl Utd came on in the second half. I need to sneeze, so give me 1 second. Ooh, nope, lost it. Anyway, so, but anyway, yeah, so, it's kind of a weird game, but they definitely, it seemed like, anyway, were able to be resolute, able to find a way back into the match and ultimately win it. So, that's definitely good on the club and the team to be able to, pretty much eke that out. But, thoughts on what we've seen and heard a little bit. Definitely Tyler, maybe not seen, but read anyway. And Tyler from Scarves and Spikes had a little bit of a write-up on this as well that kind of informed a little bit of this too. So
yeah, we got boots and spurs on the ground in Texas, thanks to Tyler Pilgrim. Appreciate him going down there and putting out reporting for all us to read who can't see it. So so what he was saying in his article is that there's a lot that went into this game that was interesting to talk about. I think it was like 5 things that came to mind. There might even be more. First is that, to me, and these are also just obviously interesting to me. I mean, not interesting to everyone, but for me, I thought the reliance and the over-reliance maybe, and it's not necessarily, I say that in a bad way, on Muyumba in these games seems interesting to me. Like, almost, he's turned a leaf or so, right? That there's a lot of, like, leadership responsibility seeming to be placed on him. A lot of leadership, leading, a lot of veteran expertise, guiding some of the younger players, talking to the media after the games, being a voice of the team, and seeing like he seems very confident too. That was, I found very interesting, when at the end of last season we all kind of thought he'd be on the outs. So it seems to be, perhaps there could be a bit of a turnaround there, and I'm here for it if we could have a Muyumba renaissance of sorts. The other one is seeing Stian Gregerson starting in the center back pairing in this one. We thought, I mean, obviously we consider Juan Baracol and Mihai to be the starting pair, but obviously I think maybe Juan has just been playing a lot recently, so they had to switch him out as the starter. So I don't know if this means that Stian is making his way into the starting position, or if he was always going to be the starter. I know Tyler in his article said it seems like Stian is preferred, even though Baracol had been the one being called upon. So that'll be interesting to see how it rolls out during the next few preseason games, and then when the start of the season comes. Also, the 3-2 comeback scoreline I thought was interesting. Atlanta United typically capitulates. They usually get knocked down, heads go down, and then the goals kind of just roll in. But this didn't happen. We stemmed the blood loss, and we took it to them in the second half, flipped the script completely around. So that was really good to see in terms of confidence. It's, you don't necessarily have to be like, oh, let's turn the game off now, we're losing 2-0 at the half, like it's against Red Bulls away. This is never going to work. This is never. But ended up winning, so that's really cool. We get what is it now? We got, looking up the standings for the tournament, we are in second with 4 points. Dallas has 3 points. Red Bulls has 0 points. They lost both of their games. We are obviously one win and 1 draw, and Houston has 1 win and 1 draw, and Dallas has 1 win and 1 loss. So, and that's +1 differential for Houston, +1 for us, and +2 for Dallas, even though, they have 1 loss and 1 win. So looking good for us in terms of the standings. Not first place wise, but we could do some damage. Dinky goals is the last point. Tyler talked about the quality of the goals that happen. A lot of the goals on Rebel side and our side seem to be kind of just chaos goals, which, my concern there is that they're not necessarily repeatable. Like if you're just shooting the ball into the blender and hoping something fortuitous happens. Yes, it's great that you can get the ball to that point on the field and attack and really bother the defense in such a way where you can get lucky sometimes with puck luck, right? That's good. Now, granted, just throwing it in there every time and hoping for the best, I just don't think is a good plan to have. So, I'd like to see more open play goals. We've seen them in previous preseason games already. I was hoping to see them against more difficult opponents. We saw it one in Houston, and in this one we saw one with the last one, the winner, again with Emmanuel Latelat. That's really good sign for me that he seems to be really figuring out that role and being that guy, and then being clutch too. So that's really good to see. And both sides seem to have gotten their dinky goals that game. They kind of washed out a bit. So those were my main takeaways. Oh, and the last one, I don't know if you wanted to start to talking about this one, AJ, but the mysterious trialist. Do you have any theories?
Yeah, we'll get to that, I think. But yeah, to your point about the set pieces and the own goals, I mean, anybody that's been watching the Premier League and essentially the conversation that's going on there, well, the game has changed in a sense for the Worlds. It seems like there is a little bit more onus on the nitty-gritty stuff, And with that, it's different for sure watching Tata Martino have not short corner routines, but actually more long actual corners. And in that sense, where you have Stian Gregerson, you have Enya Mahai, you have actual units in defense that you have targets in the box that you can aim for. And maybe that actually has added to the fact that we were able to get some own goals in the mixer there. And so if we're able to deliver it in the right areas in the mixer, then it becomes a thing where we maybe can repeat those. So yeah, I think there is an aspect though. Yes, we would all love to see more open play goals, but you know, I think personally anyway, would like to see the goals spread around in different types of fashions, because obviously last year we weren't scoring many of any kind of goals. So it's really, I think the importance is that we're scoring goals. And so, and that it is kind of mixed up a little bit. It's not just kind of one type of style. So, but as far as trialist, yeah, we could speculate who it might be. I would imagine it's somebody that's maybe not going to be a player that is very high on the kind of maybe salary aspect of it, but you know, it's, I think, very interesting because who started with them. So it was Luke. It was Keima Togashi. Keima Togashi likely was that striker up top. So Luke Brennan likely probably on the left. So it could be a right winger in terms of my estimations there. And so either way, you know, who that could be, not sure. Could be somebody a little bit older. Could be somebody maybe the rest of MLS is just like, not sure. You know, we really have to take a flyer on them. So yeah, we might find out who it is at a later point, maybe after the tournaments, if they get signed. And if not, maybe it might still come out. But yeah, I think it's very fascinating. What do you think?
My theory in earlier episodes was Fafa Picoult coming in from Miami. He seemed to fit the profile on the left wing. And then Chris Henderson did say that they were looking to bring in a guy from MLS. And that kind of fits all those. However, the wrinkle here being that if Luke Brennan was on the left, then this guy would ideally be on the right. I don't know if he plays the right. So like that, I don't know if that matches up. So, but still, I mean, if I had to guess, that might be who I'd go with. But I don't know.
Brennan has played the right as well a good bit. It's just a matter of like what we've seen from Tata, which is a very small sample size, that Brennan has played on the left. So, you know, yeah, it could be that, yeah, maybe it is Fafa Picoult. And that would be an interesting kind of wrinkle into, you know, who that is. I don't know if that's maybe going to excite a lot of fans, but he is a useful player, it seems. So
yeah, nor should it, but like it's, you know, it's you got to have guys like that. So yeah. I guess you could do worse. So, you know.
Yeah, it definitely seems like, yeah, it probably could lend itself to that direction of type of player. So, but yeah, so let's wrap up that and let's get to, well, yes, we have a new kit. The secondary kit has dropped for the 2026-2027 season. And
are you wearing it? I can't see it right now.
I am not. I am not wearing that kit yet. I did not buy it yet. But yes, I'm not going to lie, I like buying it on sale and with some codes and some, you know, I did stuff like that. But
or if the club wants to send us one, we'll be happy to wear it on every episode. Don't worry.
Exactly. You know what I mean? But anyway, so the Spirit of 96 kit has dropped. And it is Centennial Olympic themed. Of course, Atlanta had a Olympics in 1996. For those that were not alive, well, now you know. But it was quite the momentous thing because we were the lone city for it, and it had its transgressions, but it also had its beautiful moments, and a lot of the infrastructure in downtown Atlanta obviously has that kind of Olympic atmosphere, kind of ways that kind of have ingrained itself in the fabric of our city. Obviously, if you visited Centennial Olympic Park, which I would imagine most of the people that have been here for a little bit of time do those touristy things, so they probably have seen it. And so, yeah, but this kit, we've seen it. It is, I imagine if you're watching this podcast or listening to it, you've seen it. And, the cream, the green sash, the green collar, the details of that sash as well, where you kind of see a little bit of the kind of leaves of, kind of the Olympic kind of laurels and all that. Very cool details, and feeling it as well. It was, it's top. It is something that I think will be good for be able to be airy for the players. Maybe as well for the people that are trying to figure out who's playing. You'll be able to see who is on the back of the kit as well. But and as well, with the shorts, with the socks, it's classy. That gold.
Finally, they actually, it's the same white, right?
Exactly.
It's
not strawberry and concrete, where it was just
the green kit having white shorts and having off white. Oh my god.
Yeah, that bothered me as well. Exactly. Yeah, it's just like, it's not really hard to get the shorts the same color, but it makes you feel like you're getting a B-Tech kind of offering or something. But the design team did a fantastic job with this, and the marketing has been very, very good as well. So I mean, in my opinion, I like it a lot. There's some people that are griping about the sash separating the sponsor a little bit, but I mean, this isn't. For me, it's not something that ultimately bothers me all that much. It's I think it's clean in that sense, the way it does separate, and there's some cohesion in this. And yeah, unfortunately, Adidas did ruin it a little bit with a little bit of a leak 3 hours before or so the actual event. So, the kit launch, I mean, some people probably weren't maybe that eagle-eyed, but I mean, they could have waited. They really could have waited. But
talking about the email that came out.
Yeah, the Adidas email that came out with all 30 of the kits. Yeah. It's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, there's a kit launch later. People haven't actually done their reveals yet. But you got to see it from a little bit further away. Unfortunately, we would have loved to have you there. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, I agree with. I haven't been able to touch it, so can't comment on the texture of it. But overall, from what I've seen, it looks great. This immediately takes it up to probably one of the best kits for us. If I think probably the best away kit. Now the tricky thing is if we do badly in it, like we've traditionally done in our away kits, and there becomes a stigma about it of like, oh goodness, it's associated with losing. I wonder if the power of the kit alone is enough to try and kind of be separate itself from any results.
Yep.
So I hope that that's the case. Even though, I was thinking something similar about like the 404 kit, like what if we lose a lot in that? We didn't really, so we don't have to worry about that. But with this one, because I thought the power of that one was very high too. So this one, I hopefully think will be able to be a mainstay for fans for a long time, and they can wear it proudly, despite any kind of record that we may have with it.
Yeah, because ultimately these factors are a big big thing for kits. It's that, yes, the 404 kit maybe much maligned when it first dropped, but the record that we had in it made people like it more. And there were some good memories with it as well, because we were able to score some last-minute goals and have some good moments in it. Now, I imagine we're not only going to be playing this in this kit on the road, we're going to be playing with it at home, and also it's Tata Martino. By proxy, we should probably be doing better already anyway. So that's the hope, is that ultimately maybe we won't get 10 away wins this season, but maybe at least half that, and maybe a little bit more draws. It will at least bring a little bit better vibes than what we've experienced in the past. But the details as well, as far as the 1996 to 2026 in Roman numerals on the kind of where you usually have the tag anyway on the back of the shirt, inside the shirt anyway. That's a nice detail as well. Yeah, it's just it's just very, very clean. Nice details. The sash is something that's different, but also kind of has a little bit of the vibe of our 5-stripe kits as well, because you usually see a little bit of that piping with the LA United logo as well. So it's that, and plus the crest looks a little bit like a gold medal, and yeah, just really, really nice touches. And the reveal itself, the launch at Delta Flight Museum, while those two things don't really have a large connection, it's still a very Atlanta type of venue. And with the airplanes, with pretty much how huge it was as far as being able to house that many people, and having a stage, having a I think the grandiosity, if that's the word, of the pretty much plane backdrop, super cool. I mean, because these were full-size planes in there.
How many people would you say were there?
Man, probably by my estimation, maybe like almost. It was definitely hundreds.
Like more or less than you expected.
I think it was about this, as much as I anticipated. Which, yeah, so it was like in the high hundreds of, like, probably, yeah, maybe like 500, 600 people, which is
nice. We showed out.
Yeah, which is a good number of people for a 5:30 start time.
Yeah.
On Tuesday near the airport. Yeah.
Yeah.
Traffic was pretty god awful, but yeah, we move. But
one last thing that we forgot to mention, that this Olympic kit this release coincides with the actual Olympics going on right now too, which I thought was cool.
Exactly. And so, that aspect is, well, with it being kind of an even year, it would land on one anyway. But the 30th anniversary, it's definitely very brilliant to have, I think, people that know about the city. And because with Larry Look and I believe Jose being part of the brain trust in the design team, they're Atlanta through and through. And so definitely shouts out to them for creating a fantastic kit. But yeah, so you guys let us know what you guys think of this kit. But we'll see. I think there's some questions about it as well, so we won't get too far into it. But yeah,
I just hope history is kind to it.
Yeah, indeed. But so moving on, Dominic Chankui, unfortunately, he is expected to miss the next 4 to 6 weeks after suffering an MCL sprain in that match against Houston Dynamo. And that obviously doesn't sound fantastic, because an MCL sprain is, maybe sometimes a precursor of some other issues. And so Hopefully, yes, he will be okay. But that definitely probably puts a little bit of a wrench into if Pedro Amador is, was being shopped or not. He still is posting daily somewhere where he's doing these crazy workouts, because it doesn't look like Atlanta, but obviously it is. And in some senses as well, he's in Texas, of course, now, but it was like the same spot. It looked like the same spot. It was weird. Like, I don't know where, like, he's definitely not flying back every single day to the same spot. I don't understand it. Like,
he's got B-roll loaded, dude. He's just filmed a whole bunch of stuff and he's got it loaded up, ready to go.
It's strange. It is strange, but yeah, it definitely has me thinking, like, okay, well, yeah, he's putting himself in the shop window, like I mentioned last episode, but it's just like, at this point now, it's like, why? Because, obviously, Elias Baez, he hasn't really featured, obviously, and you have some of the games kind of feature him as well, but yeah, he's really not playing a part in any of the kind of what we're seeing. So it's definitely very, very fishy, and we'll see what happens. But next and last bit of news is that Jeff Carlisle, he has reported that Atlanta United reached a settlement with Botafogo and Eagle Football Group, or maybe not called that anymore, but John Textor and company. But the transfer of Thiago Almada, basically it has been settled, and yes, it's seemingly looking like a total victory. But yeah, Botafogo will pay the full transfer fee plus interest under the terms of this settlement. So, yeah, finally, it's mercifully Thiago Almada, probably in one sense, he really has probably isn't massively affected by this in some senses, even though it kind of like is about him. But either way, Atlanta United finally get the money, and whether it's going to be in installments or not, I'm not sure. We'll find out probably. But yeah, it's just almost a couple years later. It's like a year and a half at least.
Yeah,
like that's wild.
Yeah, well, from what I've heard of the reporting, and shout out to Doug, and then also subsequently Jason Longshore, who have been really on top of this for like a long time now, the whole saga, is that I guess Texter took out like a fairly predatory loan in order to get some of these off their books, so they can open up the transfer ability for that club, because they were on a transfer ban and they can't move things and make money and do stuff until they do that. So that was kind of a log jam that they had to dislodge. So this was the, I guess, first pillar of that and getting things going again. And obviously we're happy for it. We get the money finally. Not that we were hurting for it, like you said in the past. But it's just, you got to get your business done. And again, it's just absolutely insane that it is taken this long, and that the business standing of Botafogo and that guy in particular, Texter, is just beneath the earth at this point. I mean, Botafogo is a big club in Brazil, so I mean, they'll recover, I think, in time, maybe with new leadership, and maybe, I don't know, I think Texter might be like forced to be, I think he was getting like ousted by like Eagle Football Group and stuff like that, and like it's rough going on over there. So yeah, it's just I'm happy to be done with it, honestly, because it's painful.
Yeah, that the sagas that we are involved with is just almost laughable. Like it, on the other side of this, where it's not even where we're getting a player, it's that we're not getting the money for a player. It's just so funny in some senses. I'm not so sure how really fussed, like I mentioned before, that Arthur Blank is, but yeah, I mean, as far as John Textor and the loans that he's probably taken off, like you mentioned, like you mentioned, it's exactly that, where, you know, people that are, you know, this rich are able to just get away with stuff like this. That's kind of the ridiculousness of it all. But you know, but finally there is some justice to this. So yeah, that does it for the news and gets us to the mailbag. You guys send in these questions through Discord and IG story. Please continue to do so, and we might answer your questions in the future. First question comes from let's see, Greatest Moranchuk fan asks, everyone talks about top scorer for us this season. What about top assister predictions?
Top assister. It really depends who, you know, for me, who Tata lands on. I mean, if he pushes out Saba as the main winger, I'd really like to see a lot of assists from him. If not, I mean, like, I guess Miguel Almiron, because we know he's not exactly the most prolific scorer. I would probably want to see him be more in the assisting world than he is in the scoring world. Whereas we see more ELL and Moranchuk are the ones scoring more often. So less assists on theirs and more on the Miguel Almiron and the wingers. So my guess, I guess, since I'm Saba's in the air, I'd say Miguel Almiron.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good shout. I think Moranchuk probably is the guy for me, as far as hopefully anyway, because yeah, him in that position essentially, I think, yeah, he has the ability to. It's just whether, you know, he can actually come good. And so Miggy, you know, has had some double-digit assist seasons, but, you know, I think it comes down to, I mean, the players have to score, and that's really the biggest question. Is like, will those final actions be finished? We'll see. But Billy Gluckman asks, everyone talks about top scorer for us this season, and some people talk about top assister. What about top yellow card accumulator? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't. I think
my guess is Ian Gregors.
Yeah, that is likely him or Enya Mahai. It could also be Tomas Jakob. Because,
that would be my second guess. Yeah,
because him playing in that defensive midfielder position. I mean, yeah, you have to foul. Sometimes you have to stop the play and you have to break it up. That is part of the gig. And do we have somebody that can essentially be that person that's also is the deputy for Jakob if he is the guy to start at the defensive midfielder position? Ooh, that will be the question as well. But okay, this is where it gets a little. People are just getting a little ridiculous in the Discord. Elena United VIPs asks, everyone talks about top. Yep. Everyone talks about the top scorer for this season, and some people talk about top assister. Fewer talk about yellow card accumulator, but what about the over-under on the times we'll see Tata capes?
Oof. Tata capes. I don't know. I don't, because I haven't been watching his fashion sense on his previous teams after he left Atlanta, so I'm not sure if he still even does it. So I don't know. I'll just say I'd like to see them. So I'd like to see him return.
Right.
Whatever is nostalgic for the good times.
Right.
I'd like to see that come back.
Right. I think he's aware of it because obviously in his reveal video he was doing it in the darkness anyway, but you know, in a silhouette. But I am gonna say, because yes, it's quite hot in Atlanta, so it would have to be when there's away games, when maybe we're at the Benz. So I'm thinking over 8 times. Over 8 times.
Okay.
So
okay,
you know, still quite a number of them. But okay, next question comes from, or statement really, comes from Homer. Terminus Resurgence would be a great name for the team. Sorry, I just came up with one from a previous mailbag. Yeah, it was, what should the team rename themselves? But Terminus Resurgence, in a sense, kind of two of the more prominent supporters groups for Atl United. Obviously, there will be others that will be quite angry if that is the name, unfortunately, because there has been some infighting with some supporters groups. But I don't know. I think it doesn't really roll off the tongue, unfortunately. But I like the thought process. It's very Atlanta for sure.
I mean, we challenged people in that episode. I remember I think he's what he was responding to come up with their own, and so I appreciate him doing that. I think, honestly, like the name Terminus is just badass. It would just been cool if that was what it was. But that wasn't what it was, so here we are. But yeah, I mean, like going back in time, that would have been a neat name to have. Very unique kind of name. I don't know if any football team is named that. Correct me if you know of any, but yeah, that would have been cool.
Yep, it did. But yeah. Next question comes from El Tata Comiendo un Taco. Rate the kit out of 10.
Maybe like relative to just like all kits, maybe like a 7 or an 8. But in relative to Atlanta United kits, put it like a 9.
Yeah, I was gonna put 8.9. So yeah, we're pretty much at the same spot there. I mean, I think the once you see it in person and once you see kind of the texture and feel it, yeah, I think people will like it. But obviously you gave a higher grade than I did after not even seeing that. But yeah, next question comes from Omar. Amador, hopefully he don't get sold. And there's a similar question here where, let's see, in our IG story, where did it go?
Yeah, there's a lot of pro Amador supporters out there, and I kind of feel like I might be one of them. And I think a lot of people will be upset if he does get moved on before the season starts or even early in the season. I think a lot of people do like him a lot.
Right. Because, yeah, Danny Brunner also asked, what's the possibility of Amador playing winger? Already seems to be an attack-minded player. And I think it's that. It's, I mean, it looks like he's being frozen out a little bit. Again, like I mentioned with his IG stories, that there's just a lot of him putting himself in the shop window. It's strange, for sure. So, especially with Elias Baez, but, the injury to Dami Chankui, it could be more serious than 4 to 6 weeks. Who knows? And so if you're down to one left back, and plus Amador, he came on a free. It's like, yeah, I think it's fine. Like we can roll with 2 starting level left backs. I think we'll be okay. But yeah. Next question comes from Submachine OP. Rank top 3 all-time Atl United kits. That is super duper tough. But we'll go with what we feel today, because I think it's a little bit fluid. It can, there's elements sometimes where it makes it. It's like, oh well, this one's, just in this season it feels real good, feels right.
You said top 3?
Top 3.
Oh,
I know.
That's tough. I mean, top 4, maybe it'd be easier, but top 3 is tough.
Yeah. Well, what you got?
My all-time favorite, I think, is the 17s kit. I think it's just like perfecting what was already great about the first one. Then perhaps the original, but I don't really want to do that because the 17s I kind of almost see as the original too. So like it's I don't want to put it there. I'll put the a little bit of controversy is I would put the black kit as number 2 because I just love that one. Always have. Big fan of it. And then number 3, I would say probably the 404 kit. I think that thing is fresh. So
Yeah.
We'll see if the 96 can supplant that, but there's probably a good chance that it can. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's fascinating. I mean, yeah, I like those picks. It's I think, yeah, I agree with you on the 17s kit that it is a great kit, just because it's like a newer cut, and the way it fits is just less boxy, like the OG Five Stripes kit. But, you know, it's still, I think, probably, in no particular order for me, yeah, the OG Five Stripes kit, the 17s kit, and the Kings kit. So,
all right, if you didn't have to do 17s kit, what would you do?
Oh, man. That's tough. It's really tough. I mean, probably the 404 kit. It's just different. It's just something that's like, man, you know, like in our history, we'll probably not have another kit like that as well. So, probably that one. But again, this might change. This is hard to pick. But yeah, next question comes from let's see, a Marvelous 74. Is Tata going to use similar offense heavy scheme as during his first stint? What do you think?
I'm not sure. I think he'll be measured at first. I think he wants to be attacking on the front foot, high flying, aggressive. I think he wants to be the protagonist. Whether or not he has the personnel to do it right now, I think he perhaps would prefer to be pragmatic. And so he would go, okay, maybe I don't have the guys to do that yet, so we'll dial it back a little bit until we can get there, but and we'll build to it perhaps. So that's what I would theorize would happen, but I still think we're going to see a lot more focus and on attacking style come the beginning of the season. At least I certainly hope so, for entertainment's sake, purely enough.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. There is aspects of it where, yes, Tata has shown to be stubborn, but he has also shown ability to be pragmatic when necessary. So I think he's going to persist with it until there is maybe a marker that, okay, wait a minute, yeah, maybe we might have to do some things in order to prioritize results if it comes to a point of that. So yeah, I think, you know, the personnel, like you're mentioning, maybe isn't quite the most balanced, but there are elements to this team that we can already see there is improvement, and that he is finding some continuity, some synergy with the attacking players. So hopefully they are able to, after a little bit of more time together as well, and hopefully with a healthy preseason, Emmanuel Atl seems to be firing, and he seems to be, you know, getting those kind of good minutes to where he's able to acclimate himself with the rest of the attack. So hopefully so. So next question. Let's see. A lot of people talking about strikers. A Rock Charlie and FH was there, basically asking if we're going to be signing a backup striker. Are we planning on adding another striker via transfer? If so, who are we interested in? There so far haven't been any rumors, but there has been a trial list. Whether they actually were a winger or a striker, that was just speculation for me, so not sure. But I would think that we do add another striker. You know, I think maybe not at the level of $730,000 in salary, but I think you know, maybe somebody that offers a different element to what we have in ELL and Togashi. So likely, probably a guy that, you know, maybe more of a target forward, and so someone that offers just a little bit of a different element than what we currently have. So what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree. Traditionally, we run three strikers, so it's a little suspicious that we don't have a third one right now. So yeah, it makes me think that they'll go out and get one along the same lines that you're talking about. Maybe like an Adam John kind of striker, which I know a lot of people will balk at, but that's what we can afford, and that's what kind of we need to do as a stopgap. And no one freak out. We're not trying to be like we're gonna run him all season long as our starter, God forbid. But like, you know, you kind of need that to some degree, as to offer some versatility in the attack. You know, that kind of balances what you currently have. So I think that makes sense to me.
Indeed. Last question, which we're not exactly going to answer, but I'm going to read them out anyway. Jacob M. Whatkey and It's Don Julio 70 basically are asking similar questions. That what is our realistic ceiling and floor for this season? What are your predictions for the 2026 MLS Table and Cup? Well, we will be doing some previews for the season. So keep your eyes out for those predictions very, very soon in video form. So we will not be spoiling our thoughts there, unfortunately. But great questions. We will be answering them in the future. But I know you were about to say something, but go ahead.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to say anything. Okay. But I guess I'll just, you know, we do also run, it did remind me a little bit of our season-long table competition that we run in the Discord. So if you're not a part of that, feel free to join and ask about it, because it's a lot of fun and there are prizes involved.
Indeed. And speaking of Discord, we have a new monthly fan survey that we are running in the Discord, and maybe we'll expand it further than that. But essentially, we'll allow kind of a temperature check for everyone to kind of see how fans truly are thinking about a lot of the aspects of the club, and pretty much in a more scientific form. And so getting real nerdy with it, and if you want to get involved, jump in our Discord and you can take that survey and be involved with all of that. So definitely check it out. But let's get to the match preview, and it's super duper quick because obviously we won't be able to be watching it, but it will be at 1 p.m. Eastern time against FC Dallas on Valentine's Day. And yeah, at Toyota Stadium, it will be the last game of the tournament. But yes, against FC Dallas, we have it's kind of a very even kind of total record, where we have 2 wins. Of course, that win at the Benz when we opened it up all the way back when in 2017, but also basically 2 wins for FC Dallas, 2 wins for Atlanta United, 2 draws. The last meeting was a 1-1 draw on April 5th in 2025. But yeah, it's a preseason match, so it's not going to be, that precedence is not really going to be a huge factor. But it is a team that's quite in transition. They didn't have the best season last year, but yes, it is kind of the last game where we can figure out who wins this Torneo de Tejas, and we'll get this fake trophy if we are able to win this match. Essentially, it seems like the destiny is in our hands. So either way, we will not be able to watch it, and that's it. It's just what it is. We'll have the review for you of it after it happens. But thoughts on this preseason match? Like you said, the implications of this are massive. Winning that prestigious trophy, we'd like to start out the season with some silverware. That would be amazing. That would be Tata already coming good on his promises. That would be a hilarious meme that we could have for a while. But yeah, overall, I've seen some pretty decent stuff from Atlanta United in this preseason. So even if they ended with a loss or whatever, I don't think it's like, oh no, this is predicting a terrible season going forward. I think it's just a lot of decent to good things that we can carry in to the beginning of the season. So regardless of the result, I'm pretty happy with how preseason has gone so far. I think we did it well this time. I'm a little annoyed, and this is not something they can control in terms of injuries and
load management, that we don't see all 3 DPs always playing with each other to build that chemistry more. They're just, this guy's not feeling it today, this guy's not feeling it today, the next day, and so it's like there's kind of chopping and changing a bit, but still the team seems to be, in terms of generating chemistry, holding it together. So that's a very positive thing, and one of the big things this team has been missing. So overall, seems like things are in the right direction for now, at least.
Right. And the season does start February 21st against FC Cincy. So, it is pretty much, we're right on the precipice. So it will be quite interesting to see how we finish it off. But like I mentioned near the top of the show, or kind of near the review of the first match, I'm annoyed. I am annoyed. And as far as the actual how we'll actually play and how many people will show up to maybe the home opener, but also how many people are going to watch the first match of the season. Do people even know that there's a game on February 21st? All good questions. So anyway,
one more thing I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Now that I'm kind of I'm more coming around to your annoyance about it, in that you didn't have to name it a tournament.
Yeah.
You named it a tournament. You made it a thing, even though it wasn't a thing. It didn't have to be a thing, and you made it a thing. Now, what that does is garner interest. You didn't have to garner interest in these games. They could have just been behind closed doors, preseason friendlies, no big deal. But you're like, well, it's the Tornado de Tejas, and oh my goodness. And I mean, obviously, I'm being a little tongue in cheek because it's they're not taking it super serious, obviously. But you didn't have to do anything. And then I feel like because it's this thing, I wanted to see more than I would have if they wasn't that thing. So yeah, I just feel like, if you're gonna name it something, at least show it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, if you're trying to create buzz, this is not the way. So anyway, that does it for that match preview, quote unquote. But that gets us to pretty much the end of the episode, except for the question of the day. The question of the day, we're gonna throw it right back at you guys. What ranking do you put this kit? So is it at the top? Is it and as far as secondary kits go, which ranking for you? So maybe if you want to name all of them, let's see some how many do we have? It's like 1 through 6, maybe I can't remember how many secondary kits we have, but either way, let us know in the comments below. Looking forward to what you have to say. But that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's Michael. I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. And we will see you in the next video.